Hello, everyone. This is the greatest travel podcast in the universe. Possibly. I'm your host, Fraser LeVay, InspireTravelEat.com, and today I'm telling you 3 countries you have to go to next on your travels. My 3 favorite countries I've been to, and just if you haven't been, next on your list. They have to be on your list. Before we start, I always have a little rant. I found a new species of serial killer. This species is the defenders of airlines. I've had some trolls who are like, it's their rules. They're a private company. They can do what they want. Yes, Brian, I understand that as a private company, you can do anything you want. That doesn't mean you should. Like, I could go and start swearing off my patio right now. I walk outside and I start swearing epithets off my patio at people. Like, I can do that. Should I do that? I just don't like the CIA. The CIA needs to look up on these people. Whoever is all commenting and airline defenders who takes the time out of their day to be like, Avianca's the greatest. Who in the fuck? What is wrong with you? Who defends airlines? Were you also going to defend like, what else is stupid? Big pharma. You're going to defend big pharma companies and like the COVID vax pushing, blah, 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 and we lost billions of dollars. Is that they probably do that as well? They defend insurance companies who just take all of our money as well, like car insurance. I don't know. That's annoying. I've realized as I get more fans, I get more trolls. And now I completely empathize with Kevin Durant. If you don't know, Kevin Durant is an NBA player who creates like burner accounts to talk shit to people who talk shit to Kevin Durant. And he replies to tons of comments. Like he takes it all in and replies. He takes things personally. I take things personally. I totally understand why he does this now. I used to think it was funny, like just let it go, Kevin. No, I'll clap back. I'm with it. I'm completely understand. It's the 4 agreements. And our tragic flaw is we take things personally, which makes us great humans. Like we really care. We have tons of passion. He ruined basketball for 3 years. I didn't. So I think I eke him out a little bit better of a better human. Michael Jordan even took things personally. That's like one of his famous quotes. So it's like Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan, Fraser LeVay. Synonymous names, really. My 3 favorite countries. Let's go. That you have to go to and get me so excited whenever I think about them. In no particular order. One's easy to get to from the North America, one's middle to get to, and one's harder to get to. I haven't been to Africa yet. It's been on my bucket list forever, so I assume an African country is going to blow me away as a place you should visit. But let's start with Peru. Peru is amazing. I could go on and on and on. I have in another podcast, so I'll try and keep this short so you can know what all 3 are. All 3 have encompass the same ideals. Great culture, very affordable, like ridiculously cheap. Peru is so cheap, like half the cost of Mexico. Cheap. We're talking. It's amazing. Once you're there, great. That's always great when you just live like a king on, a regular wage salary kind of thing. It's not like you go to Hawaii or Costa Rica and it's double the price of what you pay at home. So that's what makes me really love it. That's just affordable for everyone. Culture, the food, the people, also lack of people. Obviously, a lot of people go to Peru, but I mean, it's not like you're in Paris, in Thailand, in these countries in Mexico, where a million people go. So it's still nice that it's not crazy and overpopulated yet. So you want to get there soon. Because I mean, once people listen to this podcast, I'm sure there's going to be millions of people go, right? Peru, the tourism board might hit me up and say thank you or give me like a card. Kidding. Obviously, everyone knows about Peru, but you have to go. Machu Picchu, the Sacred Valley. Cusco itself is one of my favorite cities on earth. It's out of a fairy tale. It's just beautiful, and there's cool hikes inside Cusco itself where you just walk up this path to Sachet Woman, which is a ruins, and there's like llamas just roaming around. It's incredible. Lima isn't that amazing, but still worth seeing. It's on the beach. The beach is kind of meh, kind of like a LA city beach. But again, it's got some history, areas to stay in. I've got go to inspiredtraveleat.com if you want to know where to stay, where to go to any of these places. I'll put it in the notes on this podcast as well. And then there's also the Amazon. You can go to the top two famous rivers in the world, the most famous rainforest in the world. In the Amazon, there are river otters, which are endangered. There are pink dolphins. There are crocodiles or alligators. I always forget which one's where. Maybe both. Anacondas, tarantulas, monkeys, every birds of a million different types that look like they're out of Jurassic Park. You're staying in the Amazon. You're going on those cool little kayak boats that I always forget their name. It's amazing. If you have a chance, at least 2 weeks, do Cusco, which encompasses Cusco, of course, the Sacred Valley, and Machu Picchu. So you have to do that. Inca Trail, that's a week at least, maybe 7 to 10 days, and then at least 4 days in the Amazon. Stay at a nicer resort because it is humid, hot, covered in bugs. It's the rainforest. It's everything it's where Anaconda was filmed. I don't know if that's true, but it sounds right. So try and stay in a nicer place if you do go. Thankfully, it's not crazy expensive, as mentioned in Peru. And there's a couple places you can go in the Amazon. I kind of cover where you should go depending on your amount of time, all on the site, inspiredtraveleat.com. But you have to go to Peru. Second, we will go with Vietnam. Similar to the other ones, it's just less traveled. And it'll be similar to the next one I'm going to talk about, where it's kind of got a bit of a... People aren't scared to go, but you're going to go to Thailand over Vietnam if you don't know any better. Because Vietnam, it's got, you think of the Vietnam War, or maybe it's whatever, anti-American. It's not that case at all. Aside from the Vietnam War Museum, which is very pro-Vietnam, I've never seen anything like it. It was something else. It was pretty much the US came and killed our kids and other stuff. It was interesting to see another side of the story. So, but aside from that, Vietnam is just nice because a lot of people don't go. There was a saying when I was there. It was, come, take pictures, enjoy the food, scenery, people, don't tell anyone. Something to that effect. And it's true because it's Thailand with half the people. And I would say as beautiful or more beautiful. Right now, check out Kowloon Bay. Just type in Kowloon Bay. Okay. Oh, no, I'm thinking that's Hong Kong, not Kowloon Bay. Let me remember which islands I'm talking about. I was just talking about Kowloon Bay with someone, but that's in Hong Kong. Siem Reap. Check out Siem Reap. Oh my God. What is wrong with me? Not Siem Reap. That's in Cambodia. My mind is all over the place. Viet Sapa. There, that's the right one. I tell you, I really love this place, and I'm an amazing wealth of knowledge while I name 2 cities that aren't in the country I'm talking about. Sapa, SAPA. Just Google that for pictures. It is stunning. It's rice paddies. It's gorgeous mountains surrounding you. It's like you're in Switzerland with just the greenery, the mountains. The village is so pretty. It's really something special. You have to check it out. And it's so easy to get to. I think it was like a $30 sleeper bus from Hanoi. And yes, Hanoi is the city I'm actually thinking of in the right country this time. So yeah, I think it's 6 to 8 hours, but you get a full lay down sleeper bus. the whole way. Super comfortable, easy ride. Unlike when I was in Peru going to the Amazon on a bus, you were like thrown from side to side. You couldn't sleep. That was rough. So amazing. You have to go to Sapa. Hanoi itself is such a cool town. You've probably seen pictures of people eating dinner right next to a train, and you're like basically like right on the tracks. There's a ton of stuff that is must see in Hanoi, and there's the area in Hanoi. Why can't I think of what the islands are in Hanoi? Let me Google Hanoi Islands. Halong Bay. What did I say before? Kowloon Bay. Halong Bay is arguably one of the prettiest pictures in the world. So HA Long Bay. Google that. Check that out. It's like what movie was filmed there? King Kong. Like there's pictures of King Kong like on the islands. And you can take 1 or 2 day trips on a boat, on a yacht. Make sure you get a good one because there are ripoff companies that will take you on some shabby boat. But you can go stay in the islands. You can sleep on the boat and just travel around all these gorgeous islands for overnight, for 2 nights. It's truly one of the most stunning places on earth. So it's something to behold. Then of course Da Nang. I love Da Nang. It's got a special place in my heart. The food there, the cost of everything is wow, it's so cheap. And in Da Nang and a lot of places in Vietnam, they've got these restaurants that are basically aquariums. So you go and there's 40, 50 tanks of different, like 4 different crabs, different fish, different shrimp, all alive in these water tanks. And you can go pick what you want to eat. And they cook it to order there. And they do like hot pot style. So they'll give you all the shrubbery and spices and you cook it in a hot pot. It truly is one of the coolest meals you'll ever have. I can give you a quick Da Nang story. I don't know if I ever talked about this before on a pod. Favorite travel stories, but I ended up playing. I think I did. I ended up playing with the Da Nang professional beach soccer team, and then like a month later, they went on to win the Vietnam Championships and then the World Championships, the World Cup of beach soccer. Like they were incredible. They went on, and I still follow them on social media. We're still friends and such. So I practiced with them all week and then played in a game with them all on the Saturday. And I can kind of tell a longer story about it, but that's the cliff notes where I was kicking a soccer ball around on like a Monday on the beach playing in these nets that were set up. And then the team rolled up and I kind of like went out of the way to let them practice. But one of them rolled a ball over to me. We started playing and they didn't speak any English, but it's always so cool because we spoke the game and just they played the exact same warm-up games that my team back home played and everything was just the same. It was such a cool experience. Then the coach arrived, asked me if I wanted to stay in practice. I did that. Practice with the team every day for the rest of the week. He spoke a little tiny bit of English. And then I was leaving town on Sunday and they invited me for a dinner, or maybe it was Saturday night. So they invited me to this place. It's like this local street. There's tables set up in the middle of the street, like just plastic tables, hot pots all along this table. There's 20, 30 of us sat there. They have like a giant plastic bucket of beer. And they're like opening it with chopsticks, handing it to me and doing the whole fish pick out thing. It was the coolest meal of my entire life. So that was Da Nang. It was something special, the most special, honestly. I could go on. There's more to that story. I ended up paying for the whole dinner. At this time, I traveled when I was really poor, when I was younger. And this was like 5 years ago when I was doing all right financially. So I bought the whole dinner. Like it was, I think it was $250 for the 20 plus of us to eat whatever we wanted and drink whatever we wanted. So that was really cool. And then we went to karaoke. Hoi An in Vietnam, one of the coolest little beach cities on earth. Nha Trang, another gorgeous place to visit. And then, of course, Ho Ho Chi Minh City, which also used to be called Saigon. Ho Chi Minh City is enormous. You can play this game of Frogger in the craziest traffic crossing in the history of traffic crossings. Anyone who's been there knows exactly what I'm talking about. It is wild. It's damn near impossible to get across this road. They don't care. They're all ripping across. I would like to know how many people die. I mean, I wouldn't like to know. I'd be scientifically, I wonder how many people die. That's probably a better way to say it. I wonder how many people die. No, I'd like to know. And then around Ho Chi Minh City, you can obviously do all the other stuff. Like there's tunnels and war museums and a whole lot of really cool stuff you can do in Ho Chi Minh City itself. But yeah, you would go Ho Chi Minh City, then up to Nha Trang or Hoi An. I forget which one's first. Hoi An is also close to Da Nang. So you visit those three at least, and then up to Hanoi. And then Hanoi, you do Sapa and Halong Bay. And there's so much more to do, of course, but those are kind of some spots you have to hit. But yeah, I like it more than Thailand. It's just as cheap, if not cheaper. So much amazing stuff to do. Thank you for the email. I don't know if you guys hear these emails coming through, so I apologize. I need to delete that if I can. Maybe I'll put the mute. But I don't know if that'll mute me. So that's what you have to do in Vietnam. And then finally, a place I just came back from and I just had a whole podcast on. You can go back to podcasts, but Guatemala, all for the same reasons, not as well traveled. It's known as a little bit more dangerous. It is more dangerous than, say, Costa Rica, but not the main places that you go. You go to Antigua. Antigua is one of the safest cities in Latin America. So you're completely safe there. And same thing with Lake Atitlan. Stay in like the main areas. Don't wander off into weird spots. You'll be fine. And then out to Flores, where Tikal is, and a bunch of really cool stuff around that whole area. So same thing. It's half the price of Mexico. It's very close and easy to get to. I mean, it's just an hour flight from, I would say, Tulum. It's really close. So it's a cheap flight because not a lot of people go there anyways. And I think it's about 8 hours you can get there from anywhere in the United States. I guess maybe not too far north, but it's a great spot. The food's good. Antigua is one of my favorite cities on earth, if not my favorite city on earth. So you have to check that out. There is like a Hobbit village. If you've already listened to my Guatemala podcast, you've already heard all of this, so I'll breeze through it. Incredible restaurants. You can hike volcanoes, active volcanoes. Like I was next to hot lava being spewed from a volcano, which sounds dangerous. It is. But unreal. Who think you could ever do that there? Tikal has some of the biggest ruins in Latin America, and you can hike or you can walk to the top of a lot of them and like oversee the jungle. It's just spectacular. And overall, it's just an amazing place. The Lake Adeline is beautiful. You can hike some volcanoes there. And also Antigua, there's so many ruins. In my last podcast, I mentioned it's not Rome whatsoever. Obviously, it's not Rome. Is it 50% of Rome? Maybe, but Rome is also, I think, one of the greatest cities on earth, especially for this thing where in Antigua, it's cobblestone roads and just everywhere you turn is a new set of ruins. So like in Rome, I've said this a million times, but you turn a corner and you're like, oh my God, what is that? And where did that come from? Like if you didn't know anything in Rome, like obviously you know the top 4 things, but there's like 20 other giant, gorgeous buildings you've never heard of unless you really know Rome well, that you just stop and you're in awe. Antigua has a fraction of that where there's just ruins and church ruins and so many beautiful places to just see that just pop out once you turn a corner that you didn't know was there until you kind of come across it. It's just really well put together, really beautiful. I loved it. That's why it's one of my 3 favorite countries you have to go to. Hopefully you enjoyed this and have some new spots to vacation. This is the greatest podcast in the universe, most likely. I'm Fraser LeVay, inspiretraveleat.com, and I'll probably do favorite cities coming up next. So stay tuned for that. Bye.